Good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. I appreciate you taking a few minutes out of your day to just join me. Today, I want to talk about the word whole and what it means for me and for this ministry. It's been a couple weeks since I did the first video, and since then, people have asked me, well, what does it mean to be whole for real? What does that mean? Sounds great, but what does it really mean? So, the definition of whole means to be free of wound or injury, to be healed from wound or injury, to be physically sound and healthy, to be complete, to be free of defect, to have all of your parts together, right? So, when I think about this ministry and when the Lord gave it to me, being whole for real means to be whole, together, complete, your authentic self, the person that God designed you to be. Not walking in depression, not walking in anxiety or fear, not feeling rejected or abandoned, not pretending, but taking the mask off. How do I know about these things? Because these are all things that I dealt with. I dealt with fear, walking in fear. I dealt with depression and anxiety. And I dealt with feeling rejected and abandoned. And I wasn't dealing with it. I was walking around broken. I was walking around like a fragmented person. And when people would ask me, how are you doing? How's your day going? Oh, I'm okay. It's okay. Everything is great. And while I was smiling on the outside, on the inside, I was crying. And I had to learn that that is not how God wanted me to live. He didn't want me living in sadness and depression. He didn't want me in my room crying at night. He didn't want me walking around in anger. He didn't want me snapping at my children. He wanted me to be living an authentic life. He wanted me to be the person that He created to me. And I don't mind sharing with you that for a while, I lost myself. I lost myself. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't even know really what I liked anymore. I forgot how to smile, truly smile. I had a fake smile, but to smile with joy and laughter, I'd forgotten how to do all of that. And so my life got to a point where I knew there had to be more. I'd been in church most of my life, but I'd lost everything. And I knew that Jesus was there. I knew that God was looking out for me, but our relationship had gotten so strained. Our relationship had gotten so far away from each other, not because of Him, but because of me and my choices. And I felt like I couldn't go back to Him. I felt like the prodigal. And then one day, just like him, I came to my senses and I said, wait a minute, I have a Father who loves me. I have a Father who doesn't condemn me, who doesn't judge me, but He loves me. And so I began to really seek after the Lord and seek after my relationship with Him. And it changed everything. And it changed, I'd like to say that it changed overnight, but it was a process. It was a process of me trusting myself and letting go of things and trusting God enough to pour into me and to love on me enough that my life could be changed. And I was just like the woman with the issue of blood. Matthew 9:20 says, just then a woman who had suffered from bleeding for 12 years approached from behind and touched the end of His robe. For she said to herself, if I can just touch His robe, I'll be made well. Some translations say whole. Jesus turned and saw her. "Have courage, daughter," he said. "Your faith has saved you." And the moment the woman was made well from that moment. And again, that's Matthew 9 verses 20 to 22. And that is the Christian Standard Bible. But you see, I was just like that woman. Because when I decided that I wanted something different for me, I wanted something different for my children, I knew that what I was looking for, searching for, my healing was in Jesus. And I began to press my way because I knew if I could just get into right relationship with him again, if I could trust him again, if I could learn to lean on him again, if I could learn to meet him in the morning and end my day with him, that I too could be made whole. And so what did I begin to do? I began to get into my word and allow his word to wash over me and wash away everything that I was feeling and wash away all of those feelings that I was feeling and wash away every burden that I had. And I began to allow his word to fill me up and destroy all the thoughts that I had about myself. And I began to learn that my emotional well-being and my mental well-being and my physical well-being were all connected to my spiritual well-being. And as I began to seek him more and get in my word and pray daily throughout the day, pray without ceasing, that was me. I woke up and I was praying. And throughout the day I was praying. And I still do that because I need to keep my wholeness. I need to maintain my wholeness. And I began to praise him even in the difficult days, even when it seemed hard. I was praising him and worshiping him. And the more I did that and the more I filled up with him, I began to see that those damaged parts of me, those fragmented parts of me, those parts of me that had been crying out were now laughing. Things that used to upset me didn't upset me anymore. Things that I thought were important were not so important. What became important was my healing and my relationship and allowing him to heal me. And I began to become whole for real. And I began to be able to respond to people when they asked me, how was I doing? I could say, I'm okay. I'm good. I'm great. Because the joy of the Lord became my strength and it began to fill me up. And I could take that mask off that I had worn for so long. And I began to live my authentic self, and my smile became truly my smile. It wasn't just a fake smile. It was truly a smile that was real. And my relationships became better with people because I was living and breathing and being my true self. God had transformed me from the broken woman that I was to this whole, complete woman that I am today. He's healed me mentally. He's healed me emotionally. He's healed me physically. And he healed me spiritually. He brought me from a place where I never thought I could be brought from. And he said, yes, you are still my child. I love you. Be made whole. And so I just want to share with you today that whatever you're going through, whatever it is, whether it's an emotional struggle, whether you're dealing with mental health issues, whether you're dealing with emotional issues, if you've come out of an abusive relationship, if you've come from an abusive home, if you've even been hurt by the very people that were supposed to love you, you can be made whole. It's God's desire for you. He wants us to be whole. Just like the man by the pool of Bethesda, he laid there and he laid there when he could have been made whole all those years. But you have to want it. You have to do your part. And you have to accept the changes that are going to come. So I just wanted to share with you about my journey to wholeness very briefly. I leaned into Jesus. I prayed. I got into my word and I praised and I worshiped, even though it seemed impossible and even though it seemed difficult. So my prayer for you today is that whatever area you need to be made whole in, that you would seek after God, seek after Jesus, and allow Him to do His work and work with Him so that you can be made whole for real. Join me again next week. I'll be talking about rejection and how I overcame rejection and the feelings and the thoughts of rejection that I had. If you have not already done so, please like, share, and comment. My goal with this entire ministry is just to reach people and share my journey and to be for someone else what I so desperately was in need of. I thought I was alone dealing with the things that I was dealing with, and I've come to find out that I was never alone because Jesus was right there with me. If you have not also done so, subscribe to my YouTube channel because I will be posting videos of me sharing my journey and prayer and devotional. So just help me reach others by just sharing what He's done for me in my life. I appreciate you. I thank you. Have a blessed day and have an amazing day on purpose.